Um, um, I haven't streamed in a while. Um, I'm starting the stream again. Um, there's a there's a book um, that I want to read that I haven't read in a while. Um, I think I'll just get started. Um, there was a fair bit I wanted to say at the beginning of the stream, but I kind of forgot. Um, um, obviously, I'm making a return to streaming again on YouTube. Um, it's a I well, I wouldn't. Hmm. Streaming has always been difficult for me because essentially it's something that I have to do by myself. Um, I'm the one who needs to press the stream button. Um, it was a very hard process in the beginning, but it's something that I got over. And I realized that um, um, it doesn't get any easier, but I can be a little more tougher, if that makes any sense. Um, yeah, and I always appreciate it because it's not really as lonely as it might seem. I am streaming by myself, but um, I'm never alone, and I think that's nice. That's a nice idea. But speaking of being alone, you have Queen Victoria, who's basically, well, lonely in a lot of ways. I remember reading her book in college. Uh, I have to borrow the book. Hold on, let me see if it works. If I can't borrow the book, I'm ending the stream. Imagine if I can't borrow the book. Uh, I don't know if I'll use the full hour. I'm quite tired, to be honest, but I still want to read. Um, I'll just get through the entire thing. Drop frames. Uh, well, I am recording also, so if there's any problems with the stream, I can just upload the recording later. That was a solution that I had a while ago, um, actually, because I realized that when I streamed, um, when I streamed, sometimes the streams would go off. So really, it's dependent on my internet and things like that. Um, but hopefully, it does work, and I'm sure that it will. Okay, so let me just get into the book. Let me adjust the just a little bit. Yeah, but here it is. So childhood, young queen, courtship, marriage, the queen, the prince, the politicians, family life, widowhood, bitter years, the ebbing tide of grief, and Victoria triumphant. Um, so basically, just her entire life. I remember reading the book. It was quite interesting and it was quite fun, actually, learning about how she was in her youth. But then it kind of got more somber, I guess, towards the end, especially when I got to chapter 3, or I guess part 3, and I learned about her bride. Uh, no, not her bride, her partner, her groom, as it were. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I guess I'll just start with the introduction. Uh, it's always good to start with the introduction. Britain has been graced by only 6 queens. Regnant. Regnant? Also, the Discord chat is visible, and I will be getting Discord notifications and things like that. Sometimes the RTC cuts off, and it's like a bling plong that goes off. Well, actually, I think it might be just a short stream. Maybe like a 20-minute stream. I think that's just fine. Yeah, I'm really feeling it. And by that, I mean the urge to go to sleep. From the somewhat shadowy figure of Matilda down to our own sovereign, the second Elizabeth. It is a situation. Oh, and I guess the reason I haven't said the reason I'm interested in the book is because when I was reading it, I felt like I could relate to the Queen. And I don't remember exactly why. All I remember is that I enjoyed reading the book, and that's it. It is a situation which can fairly claim to be intriguing from the start. The contrast between the august office and the theoretically fragile occupant. And it is indeed this very contrast which often constitutes the monarch's major problem. When a queen who is also a woman must face the demands of both roles and try to reconcile them, it is a question to which several different situations have been found. From the uxorious submission of William's Mary to the successful celibacy of Elizabeth I. I'm going to look up that word. I don't know what that is. Hold on a second. I'm going to tab out into another tab. Uxorious, having or showing excessive submissive fondness for one's wife. That's a very interesting word. And it's Latin. It's Latin for uxor, 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 meaning wife. Yeah. Honestly, I'm really feeling it actually. Actually, I'm just gonna read the introduction. I did not start off the return of the after show on a good foot. Long year span of Victoria's reign, but the problem was illuminated with most theatrical and absorbing effect. Not only was Victoria herself a supremely feminine creature, no shades here of Cecil's Elizabeth, who was something less than a woman, but a loving, if tempestuous wife to Albert, that's the guy, the mother of 9 children. She alone, of our reigning queens, found herself actually coping with the coincidental problems of royal family life and the conscientious government. It must be remembered that efforts at childbearing were fruitless, and Queen Anne's was cursed with an inability to produce children that survived. Only Victoria had to combine in effect with the care of office. As Dorothy Marshall writes, in some ways Victoria is the forerunner of the modern career woman, a girl boss, dovetailing the role of devoted wife and mother with that of chief consulate concern. But of course, quite independent of her own personality, Victoria happened to come to the throne in time to preside over a momentous period in our history. The extraordinary change over the face of Britain's incumbent in the spread of the Industrial Revolution is most effectively illustrated by the rise in population. A country which contained 9 million in 1801 and 18 millions in 1851 encompassed over 30 million at the time of Victoria's death in 1901. And this hardly takes into account the twists and turns of British diplomacy, the crystallization of the theory of empire, and the profound changes in social life. As it is, Dorothy Marshall, the author, neatly weaves the dramatic, personal facets of Victoria's story into the tapestry of 19th century Britain. Her pride in her dear soldiers. Okay. That's actually a thing that Victoria says a lot. She says the word dear to refer to people that she likes. Like, my dear sister. It's like her thing that she does in her letters to communicate in secret when she likes someone. It was very specific. Obviously, I'm referring to knowledge of things that I remember reading in the book. Okay. Her dear soldiers is seen against in the background of the Crimean War, which made great army organization necessary. Her widely differing relationship with her prime ministers, from the beloved Lord Melbourne of the 80 of the early years to the equally loved Disraeli of the later period, including less satisfactory terms, with the unquenchable Palmerston and Mr. Gladstone, all are parts of the development of the constitutional properties of Crown and government. It's a long sentence. I don't know all those details, but I guess I will if I ever reread the introduction. Dorothy Marshall, the author, indeed sees Victoria as one who, throughout her life, sought in her relationships, from her uncle King Leopold down to the controversial Highland servant John Brown, what we should now term as some kind of father figure. the same time, her country was coming to demand from its sovereign, as of right, some sort of symbolic yet active representation, possibly even a mother figure. In the balance between these two needs, those of a sensitive woman and a great country, lies the fascinating material for Dorothy Marshall's wise and perceptive study. Well, that summarizes the book, essentially. That's the introduction. I always like the illustrations, and it starts with girlhood. I will get to the next part in the stream. I will get to the next part in the book in the next stream. Um, I don't know what it's gonna be like. Maybe I'll try to read it at a pace that I feel more comfortable in. Um, I'm speaking quite excitedly at the moment, but at the same time, I'm very tired. Um, but thank you for watching the stream. If you did watch the stream, I'll be returning to streaming. I'll just be streaming this book in VC and trying to read the whole thing. I don't know when I'll get through it. It'll be very difficult, if I'm being honest. But this is something that I want to do, and I think it'll be interesting. Um, okay. Well, that's the end of the stream. I'll just check on YouTube to make sure everything's fine. With girl. Yeah, everything's fine. Um, thanks for watching. I'll just check Discord. Projector says, "Dang." Uh, I'm so tired. I'm repeating myself. Project. Okay. Well, I have to end the stream. I'm getting really tired. Um, sorry, Project. Thanks for watching. I'll continue the stream when I can.